Affiliate marketing websites are a fantastic way to make a passive income online. People who become affiliates can earn commissions for sales they generate, making this a win-win for everyone involved. It's like you're in a digital tag team with whatever business you choose to partner with. You're going to boost their reach and sales by promoting their products and services on your website, and in turn, you'll get commissions on every sale that you drive in their direction. Now, I want to make this as simple for you as possible, so I'm going to break this video down into two different parts. First, I'm going to show you guys how to build a professional blogging website from the ground up, because that's essentially what affiliate marketing websites are. And second, I'm going to show you guys everything you're going to need to know to become an affiliate marketer and how to run your entire blog. I'm going to show you guys all of the tools that I use to easily build stunning websites and customize them to your liking. I'm also going to show you guys how to come up with new blog niche ideas and how to brainstorm new blogging topics under those niches. I'll even show you guys how to write captivating blog posts in minutes using AI tools, and then I'm going to show you guys how to step-by-step post them onto your website. So let's get started with getting your domain name and hosting for your website. The very first step is getting your domain name and hosting for your website. If you want to build a website, you have to have a domain name and web hosting, plain and simple. A website literally doesn't exist if you don't have a domain name or web hosting plan. Now, a domain name is just the address to your website. So it's what people will enter into the search bar to find your website. So something like yourwebsite.com. And web hosting, on the other hand, is just renting space on a server that's connected to the internet. Now, there are web hosting companies that exist all over the world and have buildings full of these servers. Now, you guys can sign up for a plan with them and rent space on one of those servers to have your website accessible online. It's pretty similar to signing up with like a phone provider. The domain name is just like your phone number, and web hosting is like getting service with Verizon or T-Mobile or something like that. If you don't pay your phone bill, you won't be able to call anyone, so the same thing applies here. Now, there's tons of hosting providers out there, but we recommend Hostinger on this channel because, in our opinion, they're the absolute best. They seriously provide the most affordable hosting on the market, and their customer service is also top tier. Not to mention, their tech support is always eager to help you out. If you want to sign up for web hosting today and get a custom domain name to build your website so that you guys can follow along with me in this tutorial, click on the first link that's down in the description, or you can go to creativeprowebsite.com/hostinger, and it'll take you to a special co-branded landing page that we have with them. So if we scroll on down, you'll see that we have three different plans that they're offering you guys. You've got the premium plan, the business plan, and then the cloud startup plan over here. Now, I always recommend you guys go with either the premium plan or the business plan, just because of everything that they offer you guys. I don't think you guys need the cloud startup plan over here. But if you look at the business plan, you can have up to 100 websites inside of this one hosting plan. So you don't have to buy hosting every time you want a website. You can have 100 on this same account. So that's pretty cool. You guys get daily backups included in the business plan, which is huge compared to the weekly backups that you get with the premium plan. So for the business plan with those daily backups, every single day, they're going to save a copy of your website. So if for some reason something happens, your website gets corrupted, it gets hacked, it gets deleted, someone modifies it, whatever, you always have a backup from yesterday that you can just re-upload to your website and you're good to go. You get an unlimited free SSL certificate, which is the encryption for your website right here. That's SSL. You get the unlimited bandwidth, which means they're not going to limit the traffic that goes to your website all at one time. You get free emails included. I think it's like 100 domain-based. Yeah, 100 domain-based email addresses. So that would be like levi@yourdomain.com or support@yourdomain.com, those kinds of things. You also get a free domain name included in the hosting plan, which is huge. It's usually like $10, as you can see, and most of the time you'll have to pay for it separately. So the fact that you get a free domain name included is pretty cool. And you guys have a whole bunch of other things that you get as well, which I'll let you guys read through them if you want, but those are kind of the most important ones for you guys, especially if you're a beginner. So I'm gonna go ahead and just select the business plan and go ahead and move on. Next, it's gonna ask you to choose your period, so basically how often you're gonna make your payments. I'm gonna go ahead and just select every 12 months right here. And then next, I'm just gonna go ahead and scroll on down, and as you can see, we can select our payment. You also wanna go ahead and create your Hostinger account, so put your email address in right here, and then after that, we're going to enter in our payment information. So you'll see that the business web hosting plan, it went from $167 all the way down to $59, because by the way, you're paying for all 12 of those months up front. So every 12 months, you make a payment, but you have to make the first payment right now, if that makes sense. So you're paying for 12 months right now, so it's $167. It goes down to $59, which is pretty cool. The daily backup completely for free, which is usually like an additional $25. You get the domain name completely for free. You get the domain privacy protection completely for free, which domain privacy protection just means they're going to protect your personal information, like your phone number, email, and stuff like that, and your address from telemarketers and solicitors who are going to send you a whole bunch of crap because they can find your information public on the internet because you own this domain name. So domain privacy protection means they're going to protect your personal information, which is cool. I would definitely recommend always getting privacy protection because it gets annoying when you have multiple websites and you have tons and tons of telemarketers calling you. Anyways, lastly, you have a setup fee that's also included for free. So as you guys can see, the business plan does give you a lot of huge discounts and a lot of cool additional bonuses for free. That's why I usually recommend this one. But anyways, from here, I'm going to go ahead and fill out all of my checkout information here. So like name, phone number, you guys get the drill. And then lastly, just make sure that your coupon code is applied right here. And so it actually looks like for the first time ever, it didn't automatically apply. So let me just show you guys. Normally, whenever you go to createaprowebsite.com/hostinger, and then you guys click on add to cart, let me see if this time it's going to work. Whenever you guys go to that URL, that link, it should automatically populate with the coupon code. There it is. Okay, so that was weird that it didn't have it there. It happens every once in a while. Just make sure that the coupon code is applied, and it's Create a Pro Website right here. So anyways, with the coupon code applied, go ahead and put in your credit card information, and I'll see you guys on the next screen. All right, so this is your hosting setup screen. From here, we're going to go ahead and click on Start Now, and then it's going to ask if you want to create a new website or migrate one that you already have, and we're going to be creating a new one for this tutorial, so I'll click on Select. And next, we get to set up a WordPress account or use Hostinger Website Builder, and we're going to be using WordPress for this tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Select for WordPress with AI. Okay, so next we get to create our login details for our WordPress account. So I'm going to go ahead and just create my own password really quickly, and then click on Continue. And then it's going to ask if you want to add any plugins before you even get to the website, but I'm going to go ahead and just skip this one because we're going to manage the plugins as well as templates later. So you guys can go ahead and just skip this if you want. And then lastly, we come to this really important step, which is another really cool feature of the business hosting plan. This doesn't come with the premium hosting plan. It only comes with Hostinger's business plan. It's called WordPress AI Assistant. And so basically what Hostinger has done is they've infused a ChatGPT-like AI system directly into WordPress. So from your WordPress dashboard, you can literally create new blog posts with AI directly inside your WordPress dashboard. You don't have to open up a new tab, go to ChatGPT, copy and paste everything. It'll literally create blog posts for you. And the coolest part is from right here, I haven't even gotten to my website yet. I haven't even created a domain name. And what I'm going to do is add my brand name, like my company name, and I'm going to give it a description of what I do. And it's literally going to create, I think like 6 or 7 or 8 different blog posts by default about the content that I put into this description right here, which is really freaking cool. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out with my brand name and then the description right here, and I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, so this is just something that I wrote out as an example. So we're going to put our brand name Hiking CAPW, which CAPW just stands for Create a Pro Website, which is our YouTube channel. So I'm making a hiking website or an affiliate marketing website about hiking. And so for the description, I just said something along the lines of like what we cover, where we are, and those kinds of things. So now that we're done, we're going to go ahead and click on Continue. And in the background, while I create my domain name and set everything else up, it's automatically going to create these blog posts and throw them into my website so that we can use them later, which is super cool. Okay, so now that we have our domain name ready to go, which is included for free inside of our hosting plan, we can click on Select right here because we don't need to buy a domain, and we can go ahead and try out different options right here. And then over here on the right-hand side, you guys can choose your domain. I'm going to go ahead and recommend you guys choose a .com just because it's the most common and professional looking. You guys can, of course, choose whatever you want, though. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and just try something out. So we're just going to try hikingcapw.com, and we're going to click on Search to see if it's available. And it looks like the domain name is available, so we're going to be taking it. From here, I'm going to click on Continue. Okay, perfect. So now everything is finished setting up. As you can see, it says you're almost there. Content generation by AI is underway, which means that those blog posts are being created in the background. So next we can choose if we want to go to our Hostinger control panel where we can handle like the back-end settings of our website, the server side stuff, or if we want to edit our website inside of WordPress, as you can see right here. And obviously we're going to be going and jumping straight into WordPress. So we're going to click on Admin Panel right here. Now, if any of you guys make it to your WordPress dashboard, which this is your WordPress dashboard, by the way, but if any of you made it this far, and you'll notice that there's this little banner up on top that says that this is a preview of the website by Hostinger, or if you see in your domain name that it literally says preview of the domain right here, don't worry, that's perfectly fine. What this means is your website is first propagating. So back in time, you would have had to wait for your propagation to finish before you can make changes to your website, but now Hostinger allows you guys to make changes to your website before it's even done propagating, which is a pretty cool feature, by the way. But propagation in its simplest form is basically Hostinger needs to take the domain name that you just purchased and it needs to send it out to every single server in the entire world and let everyone know that it's purchased and live. So this process can take anywhere from like just an hour to an entire day. Usually never goes more than a day, but sometimes it can be done in just a few minutes. So if you guys don't want to make changes to the preview, which by the way, you can make changes to the preview and it will apply to your live website, just a heads up. So there's really nothing stopping you, but if you want, you guys can just keep refreshing the page and wait, and you guys will see that the preview is gone and you'll be inside of your live website. But I'm gonna go ahead and just skip until the preview is gone so that you guys can see what the live website looks like.
All right, friends, we now have our domain name and web hosting all set up. Now it's time to build the website. But don't worry, we're gonna download a complete website template to save us a massive amount of time on the building process. From your WordPress dashboard, we're just gonna hover our mouse over the plugins tab and then click on Add New. From here, we can use the search bar to look for a plugin that's called Starter Templates. And for those of you who are new, plugins are basically the same thing as apps on your smartphone, but for your website. Now, I'm gonna install and activate Starter Templates. After this, select Elementor, because this is the page builder that we're gonna be using. Now, this is the library where you guys get to choose whichever template you think looks best. You can either follow along with me and choose the same template that I do, or you guys can pause the video and then you guys can browse through the entire library and choose which template you think is right for you. You'll notice at the top, they have filters for different industries or uses that you might have when looking for a website. What I'm gonna do is select the blog filter for obvious reasons and then see what they have available. I think this template is perfect for what I'm trying to do. Once you click on your chosen template, you get a preview on the right as well as the settings on the left. If you already have a logo that you've built for your business, you can go ahead and upload it now, but I'm gonna show you guys how to build your own logo completely for free without having to download any software later on in the video. So for now, I'm gonna go ahead and click on skip and continue. Next, we get to choose our color palette for the website as well as the font combo. When you're all done, make sure that you have all of these boxes checked except for this one, and then click on submit and build my website. After a minute or two, you'll have a downloaded template ready to go. All right, we've already laid the groundwork, and all we have to do now is customize the site to our liking using pictures and text. Now, I'm gonna show you guys where I get free images online from a website called unsplash.com to fill out your website if you don't already have pictures. On top of that, I'm also gonna show you guys how to use Elementor AI to add pictures and text to your website as well. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, so now that we have our website up, we don't really need the starter templates tab anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this one and we can just say leave. And so now I've got my website open on one tab and then I have my WordPress dashboard open on another. Now, if you don't have your WordPress dashboard open on another tab, you can, if you wanna get back to it, you can go and hover over your website name right here in this little top ribbon, and then you can click on dashboard right here and you'll see that it takes you back to your WordPress dashboard. Okay, so in order to edit our website, we have to open it up inside of Elementor, which is that easy to use drag and drop page builder I was talking about earlier. So in order to do that, we have to go up here to our website name, and I'm gonna open it up on a new tab, but of course you can always just click on it and it'll open up your website. I always recommend opening it on another tab so that you have a dashboard that you can jump back to if you have to make some changes to settings over here. But anyways, on our website, up here in the top corner, you'll see Edit with Elementor, and this is what we need to open. All right, so you guys can close out of this tab right here, and you can also close out of the navigator. So let me go ahead and give you guys a quick overview of how to use Elementor. Over here on the right-hand side is the website preview. As you can see, I can scroll through it and we can make changes, and you'll see that things kind of highlight every time I hover my mouse over them. Over here on the left-hand side, you guys have the settings tab. And so this is where you'll make all of the changes. So if I were to click on something like this, you'll see I've got all of my settings over here. Inside of the settings over here, you've got usually 3 different tabs. You've got the content tab, the style tab, and the advanced tab. Under the advanced tab, we're really not going to make any changes except for to the margins and padding. And what margins and padding do is if I were to try and edit this heading over here, if I wanted to add some padding, you'll see inside of this purple square or the pink square, if I were to add some padding, you'll see that I just get some space inside of the square. And so that's pretty much all that margins and padding do, but we're barely going to make changes to those. I just wanted to show you guys that that's what it does. Under the style tab, you're going to change things that are the style of whatever you're editing. So this is where you can change things like if I'm editing text, where you can change the color of the text and the typography. So things like the weight, the style, the size, if I want to change the size or something like that. And then under the content tab, this is where you can change the content that is inside of that widget. It's pretty easy. You'll see that it says create a pro website or create your website right here. And it says create your website right here. And the same thing, it says here's all of that text down below and here's all of that text down below. So it's pretty simple. If I were to click right here, I can start typing and it's going to appear on my website. And then if I were to click right here, you'll see that it starts to appear on my website as well. So it's pretty self-explanatory. self-explanatory. But that's not the only way that you can edit text. It's really easy. You can literally click onto your screen and start typing directly onto your website. So that's one way that you can do it as well. Okay, so that is how the settings over here on the left work and how everything works on the right. Now, you'll also be wondering kind of the layout of your website. You'll notice that every time I hover my mouse over this back area, you can barely see it, but this little pink outline goes all the way around this section. And so this is what we call a section. If I right click, you'll see I can edit the section, which is basically the background. Also, if I hover my mouse over the 6 dots right here, it says edit section. And that's because we're editing the section or the background of this part of the website. If I scroll on down, you'll see this is now another section. You can see the new tab pops up right here and it highlights all the way around this right here. And then if I scroll on down more, here's another section right here and it's just this right here. And a little bit farther and you'll see that this is another section right here. So if you ever want to change the background of a section, you can just right click out here and say edit section, or you can just like click on the 6 dots right here and we're editing the section. Inside of a section, you can place columns, which are the gray dotted boxes right here, and columns stack horizontally. So if I were to add another column, it's going to stack over here on the right hand side. And then inside of a column, so inside of the dotted gray line, you can put these purple little squares, which are widgets. And here's all your widgets over here on the left hand side. If you click on the little Rubik's Cube icon right here, it's going to open this up. And this is where I can add things like an image, or if I wanted to, I could add a button. As you guys can see, that's how you add things to your website. I'm just going to right click on them and say delete just to remove them again. So again, we've got a section, which is the background. Inside of that, we can place a column, which stacks horizontally. And then inside of a column, you can place widgets, which are the things that actually display on your website. I'm going to go ahead and click on update in the bottom left corner, and that basically saves my work and publishes it live to my website. So you'll see me hit the update button quite often. Right next to the update button, we have the preview changes button, which when you click on it, it's going to open up a preview of your website on a new tab that you can interact with by clicking on all of the buttons and things like that. Okay, so that's basically how Elementor works. It's a very basic understanding, but at least you guys kind of have a grasp of what's going on. So from here, I'm going to show you guys how to make changes to your website using Elementor. It's really simple. You guys first already know that anytime I want to change text, I can literally just click on it and I can literally start typing wherever I want. If you guys want to edit buttons, you can right click and say edit the button, or you can click on the little pencil icon that appears on every widget that you have, just like this. So if I click on edit services, you'll see over here on the left hand side, it says that I'm editing the button right here because that's the button. And a button really only has 2 things you need to change. The link, which is where it's going to take them, and then the text, which it says services, and so there's services. On a button, you can't just click and start changing the text. That's only when it's like text like this. So inside of a button, you have to click on it and you can go over here to text and you can literally change it from services to something like articles. So something like that. So that's how you can change the text. And then the link is where this is going to take them. So for instance, I could put in a link like YouTube, just like this. Let me click on update to save my work. And then I'm going to click on the preview changes button right next to it, just like this. And so now anytime someone clicks on this button, and the reason I opened up a preview of my website is to actually show you guys how the button works. So now when anyone clicks on the button, it's going to take them to YouTube, as you can see. So whatever you guys put into this link, whatever URL you place, whenever they click on the button, it's just going to take them there. I'm going to go ahead and clear out that URL because I don't want this to actually take them to YouTube. And I'm just going to leave the placeholder, which is that little number sign right there. Okay, so you guys already know how to change the text as well as the buttons right here. So let me go ahead and show you guys how to change the background as well, because obviously we need to change the background to actually have the pictures that we want for your website. So let me go ahead and show you guys that right now. We can right click and say edit section, or click on the 6 dots again. And over here under the style tab, you'll see the background image, which is this mountain picture. So let's go ahead and change that now. I'm going to click on it and I can either use the pictures that are already installed on my website, or I can click on upload files and select the files from my computer. And so from here, I have all of my pictures already ready to go. And so I'm going to go ahead and just take them from my computer and click on open, and they're going to upload to my website. Perfect. And so now I have all of my pictures ready to go on my website, and I can just select one of them and click on select. And now it's going to insert it into the background just like that. Now, if you don't already have images ready to go for your website, that's totally fine. There's 2 different ways that you guys can use to add pictures to your website if you don't already have pictures of your business. The first is going to be going over here to a website, and there's a bunch of free image websites you can use. I recommend unsplash.com, and this is a website where you can literally search for things like a camera, for example, and then you'll find a bunch of pictures that you guys can use for your website that have cameras in them. And you guys can of course search for whatever you want. So if I want something like mountains, for example, I can find a bunch of pictures of mountains to place in my website, which is going to be applicable obviously because I'm making a hiking website, so I'm going to want pictures of mountains and stunning scenery and stuff like that. You'll actually notice that this is one of the pictures that I downloaded onto my website. So if I click right here, you'll see that it's right here. So I used this one from Unsplash. Actually, all of these pictures come from Unsplash, by the way. So that's how you guys can get some free images, is you can come up here to this website and you guys can search for whatever you need. There are other websites like Pixabay. So Pixabay, just like this. And then here's 4.1 million images, as you guys can see, that are completely for free. So you guys can find them. I think there's another one called Pexels. Yeah, so Pexels.com is another free image website that you guys can use to get images for your website. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out of that tab because I already have the images downloaded. But once you download them to your computer, again, you would just click on the little box right here and you can upload them straight from your computer. And so that's how you can change the background picture. But I also don't really like this red hue that came with the template. I selected that red hue because I do like how it makes the buttons look, but I don't like this red background. Same with this over here. So we're gonna make those changes. In order to remove that, you'll see that we have multiple tabs here under the style tab. I'm gonna go to background overlay and you'll see that it's this gradient right here. And so as you can see, it's the red that I'm changing right here. I'm gonna change it to classic, which makes it one color, and then just make sure that it's black like this. And that's a really simple way to make it a little bit cleaner, which personally I like how that looks. You guys can also change the opacity right here by making it really dark or barely any of that color at all. But I'm gonna stick to somewhere around just 0.5. Now back under the background tab, I actually don't want it to be classic one picture. I actually want to choose a slideshow right here. You can make it a video or a gradient as well. So as you can see, if I were to make it a gradient like this from like red to black, I could also put a video in the background, which I would have to have a YouTube link, or you can choose a slideshow, which is what I'm going to do. And from here, you can just select your images, which I'm going to select my 3 images right here. And you'll see that as I select them, it has this little checkbox and I can click on add new gallery or create new gallery. And then I have my 3 pictures here. You can rearrange them if you want just by dragging them. And then I can click on insert gallery. And so now I have this really cool gallery in the background where every 5 seconds, it's going to change to a different picture, just like that. You can also turn on the Ken Burns effect right here, which I think looks cool. And it kind of just slowly zooms into each picture. And so I think that's a cool little added effect. Once you guys are done making your changes to the background image, you guys can click on update to save your work. And one last thing I want to point out is you guys can play around with the settings. You'll see that the duration is 5,000 milliseconds, which every 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. So if I see 5,000 milliseconds, that basically just means 5 seconds. So if I want it to be every 4 seconds, I would just change this to 4,000. Or every 3 seconds, then it would be 3,000. You guys get the idea. But that's how you can change the duration. The transition is a fade right now, but you guys can have it slide if you want. So now instead of fading, you'll see that it's going to slide. So just like that. You guys can play around with whatever you want. I think the fade is just fine. So I'm going to click on update to save my work. Okay, so now that we have the background picture, which looks pretty cool, which 5 seconds is actually not that long. It's kind of switching pretty fast. You guys can also change the duration, but if you wanted to, you could increase the duration to maybe like 6,000 or 7,000. That way it stays on the picture for a little bit longer. I think that looks a little bit better. It's not changing too fast, which can kind of be a little cluttering to the eye. Okay, so I think the background looks good. I've already got my pictures in the background, which this is a hiking website. So let's go ahead and change the text as well. So all I have to do is click on it and I can literally start changing the text on my website just like this. So let's talk about hiking. That's my subtitle, and then here comes my main title. And so I can literally change the text right here and say something like this. Explore the outdoors your way. And then you guys can put in your own little subtitle right here if you want to as well. But when you guys are done changing the text right here, you guys can click on update to save. Now there's actually one other thing I forgot to show you guys. So there's 2 ways to add pictures to your website. Actually 2 ways to add text as well. So the first would be going over to unsplash.com if you guys don't have the images. But the second way would be if you don't have a picture, you can actually go ahead and add it using AI, which is really cool. So anytime you want to use AI that's integrated inside of Elementor, you can just click on the little pink little star icon that appears over pictures and text whenever you want to change it. So if I were to click on text, you'll see that it says edit with AI or write with AI. But when I'm changing a picture, you'll see it says edit with AI. And Elementor is going to ask you to sign into your Elementor account, which you guys can create an Elementor account completely for free if you want to. I already have one, so I'm going to go ahead and just log into my account right here. And now I'm logged into my Elementor account. You guys, if you don't already have one, you'll just have to click on connect and create one with Elementor. It's completely for free, so don't worry. And then once you create your Elementor account, all you have to do is just click on approve the terms and get started. So now that we've linked our Elementor account, you can actually use AI to edit images as well as to generate them completely for free, which is cool. Now, just a heads up, Elementor AI, you have to pay for it, but you get a massive free trial. You guys will probably be able to edit your entire website without using up the free trial. So that's what I would recommend doing. If you guys want, you guys can actually sign up for Elementor AI. And let me just show you guys really quickly. Elementor AI is only $3 a month. It's pretty cheap. And you get 18,000 credits. And just so you guys know, if I click on the little eye right here, a text prompt is 1 credit, a code prompt is 1 credit, and then an image prompt is 33 credits. You get 18,000 credits. That's a lot of using AI. If you think you'll need more than 18,000, you guys can go for the AI Power, which is 50,000 credits. If you guys actually plan on using Elementor AI in all of your blog posts, totally fine. You guys can sign up for that. I just wanted to show you guys that you can pay $2.99 a month. That's it. And then you can use AI perpetually. But the free trial, again, is massive. I don't know how many credits they give you guys off the top of my head, but I've used the free trial and I was able to get quite a bit out of it before it told me that I've used it up. So you might as well use the free trial since you have it. So once you create that free Elementor account and you hook it up, you'll automatically have access to the free trial, and then you can use it as much as you want until it tells you you can't. So that's completely up to you guys. But I wanted to show you guys that you guys can click on generate with AI and you guys could write out something else. So you could say a man is looking at a mountain range. The mountain range is massive and vast, and it's at sunset. So you guys can choose the type, which I want a background image, or you could say it's a photographic image, but I'm just gonna say a background image. You can choose the style if you want, which we could say bokeh if we wanted like a depth of field blurry background or something like that. I'm just gonna say I don't really have a style. I just want a picture of mountains. And then your aspect ratio, which you probably want like a 16:9 landscape picture, which if you guys don't understand, aspect ratios, you might have to go Google it. But basically you've got portrait and landscape, which is vertical or horizontal. So this is a landscape image right here, which is sideways. If I want a portrait picture, it would be like this, but on its side. So it would be taller and skinnier, if that makes sense. So you guys can choose portrait or landscape. I'm gonna say a 16:9 landscape and then generate my images. And then AI is gonna take my prompt and generate images based on what I told it to do. And so this is the second way that you guys can get images to use for your website. And then as you can see, this is probably the only one that looks, well, that one looks photorealistic as well. So I could totally use this image if I wanted to. You can generate again, be more specific, whatever you guys want to do. But if I like this picture, I can click on use image, and then it's going to insert my image in the background. And you'll notice that the resolution is terrible. So if you're going to use AI generated images, you might have to enhance the image or just use it for smaller pictures. Like I could use AI to create these pictures because they're very small, but to make a massive picture like this, maybe it's not the best idea. It's up to you. But now that I've created it with AI, I can go ahead and enhance it. So I can click on edit with AI, which is that little star icon, and then I can actually resize it by clicking on resize right here, and then I can increase the resolution to be like 2000 pixels, which is better than 500 pixels, which is what it comes out as. And then I can click on generate, and it's basically going to enhance this picture to be a much bigger resolution. And so we'll see if this makes it better to use. Okay, so now it enhanced it. I'm going to click on use image, and so you guys see how blurry and pixely it is in the background right now. Let's see if it fixes it. Okay, it made it a little bit better, but it's still not the best picture. So again, if you're going to use this idea of using AI to generate images, you might use it for smaller pictures like this. So that's just an example for you guys. But for instance, if I wanted to, I could click on this little gray box right here. Let me just show you guys really quickly. I can click on the box right here, which is editing the column, and I can go to the style tab, and you'll see that there's the picture. Let's go ahead and try using this one with AI instead. So I'm going to click on generate with a prompt, and let's just say, so mountain range at sunset with a man looking at the mountains. And then I can say that this is going to be a background image. The style, if you want, you could choose. But the aspect ratio, I actually want it to be 1:1, which is a square. So it's going to come out like a square because as you can see, these are square images. Let's generate the image and then pick one, which I think this one probably looks the best. So I'll say use image. And perfect. Now, as you can see, when you use AI to generate images for small images, it's gonna do great. I don't think that's blurry at all. And so you guys can generate whatever you want. If you can't find on Unsplash what you're looking for, you can use AI to generate better pictures. But for the background of your hero section, you might want something with a better resolution. And so in order to do that, I'm just gonna say slideshow, which it goes back to the same gallery that I already created, so we're set. But anyways, that's how you guys can change around the services. Oops, I switched that one from classic. There we go. So that's how those look. Okay, so I think this looks great. We've got our buttons right here, which look good as well. Now, normally what you would do is you click on the pencil icon and you would actually add a link right here, but because we don't have a article page yet, we'll have to create that later on in the tutorial. There's nothing to link this one to, but we can link this one to the about page. So if I click on the pencil icon and you'll make sure that you're editing the about us button right here, this is where you can paste the actual URL. So www.something.com if you want to, but you can also use this as a search bar to look for the different pages that you have on your website. website. Back on the dashboard really quickly, you don't have to follow along with me. Let me just show you. If I go to the pages tab right here, I can show you a list of all of the pages that we have on our website. We have a home page, about page, contact, services, and privacy policy page. So out of those pages, I can search about like this, and it's going to search. It says, hey, you actually have a blog post that says about in it. You have a blog post that also says it. You have a home page, but you also have an about page right here. It says page and it says about. So if I click on it, it's going to instantly add the link to my about page right here. So now that that's linked, I can click on update, and let me just show you guys that if I preview the button, now instead of doing nothing when I click on it like this button, if I click on this one, it's going to take me to my about page, which is pretty cool, which is the same thing as clicking on about right up here. So as you guys can see, this one works because this is your navigation menu, but I wanted to show you guys that that is how you guys can link up a button. Okay, so with that out of the way, I think this is pretty much done. Obviously, you guys would want to change out this text to say something real and not just have dummy text kind of being a placeholder here, but because this is an example, you guys know how you can write a blurb in there, so I'm not going to show you guys. Okay, so next we can scroll on down and we've got these 3 different services, which instead of services, because this isn't like a business website, this is more of like an affiliate marketing blog website. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make these like categories for different posts that people can click on. And it's pretty easy to do that. I mean, literally all I got to do is change the text. So let's just say category 1. Actually, instead of category 1, let's actually just make these categories. So let's just say tents. And then this one could be footwear. And then this last one could say something like equipment. Okay, perfect. So this is like blog posts and affiliate market, like product reviews and product comparisons about tents and like different tents that you guys might be interested in. And maybe this is like footwear. Maybe this is, so like these are like hiking boots and this is equipment. So like camping gear and stuff like that. So next, all we have to do is change the background image, which honestly, that one's a pretty good image. And that was from AI, which is pretty cool. But what I'm going to do is just use the pictures that I already have in my media library. So it's going to be the tent picture right here. And then I have my second picture. So again, click on the little gray box and go to the style tab. And for this image, it was for footwear. And notice how I have these pictures cropped into a square. I did that on purpose so that they perfectly fit into this little spot right here. Because if I were to click on this, go to style and choose a picture that's more landscape like this, it might not fit correctly. Okay, so it does. It looks like it does, but sometimes it can actually stretch the column out. It kind of depends on how the layout of your website is. But anyways, I'm going to click on my square image right here, select. And so now I've got like the tents category, footwear, and equipment category. Also, I personally don't like how it hovers to like this red color, and it's really easy to change that. So you'll notice here's the picture under the style tab where we would change this. If you want to change that hover animation, you would just go over here to background overlay, and you'll see that the normal overlay is like this dark black. As you can see, like obviously I could make it red or whatever, but you'll notice that it's making the image black. And then whenever I hover, so you click on the hover button, it's this red color. So instead of red, if you wanted to, you could kind of make it white. So every time you hover over it, it does like this white animation, or you could just make it go even darker whenever you hover over it. So we could just change it to black and then choose the opacity that's darker. So now every time you hover, it goes darker. I think I kind of like this one the best. So what I'll do is let's just say it's at 0.6. Let's just do that. There we go. So at 0.6 is what I'll do. So every time you hover, it gets a little darker. We'll do the same thing to this one. So just edit the column, go to the background overlay, and then we can go to hover and change this to 0.6. And let's go ahead and do the last one. So we'll go to background overlay, the hover animation, change it to black, and we'll say 0.6, just like that. Perfect. So now when you hover, it kind of goes black. I like that. I think the red overlay does not look good. I do like how the red buttons are kind of like it's the, what do you call it? The accent color, but I don't like it on the overlay. Okay, so these are the 3 different categories that I'm gonna do as examples. And so if you wanted to, you could also add like a new title right up here. So let's click on the plus button and then click on the plus button again. We can just choose the down arrow right here. So we're gonna create a new section, and I'm just going to click on the Rubik's Cube icon right here, and I'm going to drag in a heading. And so now I have some text up here. I'm trying to make it a title for this. So let's edit the section right here. We're editing this big old section right here. And you'll notice if I go to the advanced tab, there's padding on top. Let's go ahead and just zero this out. As you can see, there's no more space on top. There's still some on the bottom, but not on top anymore. And what we'll do is we'll just apply that 100 padding. We'll apply it to the top of this one instead. So let's click on edit section right here, because this is a whole other section compared to this one, as you can see. And so then I'll go to the advanced tab and I'll just unlink the values and I'll add 100 right here on top. So now this looks like it's a heading text for this. And so now we'll just click here and we'll center the text. And then we could say something like, check out these categories, just like this. And let me go ahead and just capitalize these 2 really quickly. Check out these categories for article, or you could just say featured article categories, something like this. I mean, you could write out whatever you want. I'm just kind of doing this as an example for you guys. And then what we can do is I can add just a tiny bit of padding to the bottom of this. So let's click on advanced right here. And I'm just going to unlink them and add, if you hover your mouse over the actual word, instead of using the arrow keys like this, you can click and drag sideways like this. And you'll see that I can get like a live animation. And so you can kind of, estimate it with your eyes size, I think that looks pretty good, that much space right there. So let's just round it to the nearest, 10. So let's just say 30. Perfect. After that, I'm going to click on update to save, and that's how you can add like a new heading widget if you want. And so now here's the hero section. They can go straight to all of the articles, or they can scroll on down and they get some of the most common categories. And so they could click on this, and this would be like all of the articles about tents and camping equipment would be this one, and then footwear would be this one. So I think the categories looks good. We can scroll on down, and next we have this little text blurb right here. I mean, you could make this an about section. You guys can make this whatever you want. If you want, you can click on this text right here, and you can completely delete the whole thing like this. And if you want, you can use edit with AI like this, and you can have AI write something for you. So watch this. I'll say something like this. So something like that, and we'll say generate text, and then it's going to automatically generate a paragraph for me, which is going to be pretty cool. Watch this. So now I've got this little about section. Welcome to CAPW, Hiking CAPW, the online hub for hikers of all levels. We've been around for 10 years now, providing extensive detailed information about everything hiking related. Our mission is to be your go-to source for anything you need to know before embarking on your next outdoor adventure. I mean, this is freaking awesome that AI integrated into Elementor can do this for me. So right after you get your paragraph, if you think that it's a little too long or too short, you guys can use these quick little buttons right here. So make it shorter, and it's going to take that text and make it a little bit shorter for me, which is pretty cool. And so now I've got something a little bit shorter that's probably going to fit right here. That's about the size of the paragraph that I deleted. So I'm just going to click on use text, and it's going to enter my text in right there. So I think that's pretty cool. And then from here, if you want our history, this could take you to the about page. So why don't we go ahead and link this up right now? We'll just say edit the button, and we can take this to the about page. Maybe don't put page. There we go. So we put in the about page, it takes the link, and we're good to go. So let's click on update to save. I think that's pretty good. So next we can scroll on down, and we have this call to action section right here. And so what I'm going to do is make this a subscription call to action. So if they want to subscribe to your newsletter or something like that, because this is affiliate marketing, so you want to constantly be sending them posts with links in them. So in order to do that, what we can do is first of all change this background because the red is bothering me. So we can come over here to the style tab, and we'll change the background red color. So that would be the background overlay. We'll change it to classic and just make it black, which is so much better. And then from here, we can actually change the background image as well if we want to. And so I can just choose this picture, for example. And so now I've got this cool picture of a mountain range with clouds in there in the background, which, I mean, that is just such a cool picture. Okay, so now we can go ahead and change the text as well. So I can change this from call to action to something else. So like something like sign up for our newsletter. And then this, we're actually going to delete this button, and we're going to put in a contact form widget instead. So up here in the search bar, if you didn't automatically get taken to the widgets, click on the Rubik's Cube icon, and then we can search for, what is it called? WP Forms. Or I think in here it's just called forms. Oh no, it's WP Forms with no space. That's why it didn't pop up. So WP, and you'll find it. We'll drag that in right below. Now it's going to enter in this right here, and you have to select a form, but we haven't created a newsletter sign up form. If I choose the contact form right here, that's too much to have in here and not a sign up form. And I actually want it to be an email subscription form. So I'm going to say, go back to the default, select a form, and let's go ahead and create that newsletter sign up form right now. So I'm going to click on update to save my work. We're going to have to go back to the WordPress dashboard for this part. And luckily I have it open on a new tab. If for some reason you guys didn't open this up on a new tab, even though I told you guys to, in order to exit out of Elementor, you have to click on the hamburger icon up here. You'll click on exit, and then you have to tell them where you want to go to. So not to this post, we want to go back to the WordPress dashboard and then click apply. And now you're back on your WordPress dashboard. Now I'm just going to go ahead and open up Elementor again really quickly. I just wanted to show you guys that's how you jump back. Okay, so from our WordPress dashboard, if we want to actually make changes to that WP form, we can go over here to WP Forms on the left-hand side, and we're going to click on add new because we have to create a new form. And from here, it's going to show us a bunch of templates that we can use, and we're going to see if they have a newsletter sign-up form, which they do. It's right here, and that's perfect. So we're going to click on use template. And from here, you'll see the contact form. It says name and email, and honestly, I'm going to take off the name. So I'm just going to go over here and click on the trash can icon right here and remove the name because all I want is the email, and then I want the button. And so let's go ahead and change what the button says. But first, I'm even going to take off the label. So right now the label says email. I don't want it to show that. So I'm going to go to advanced and then click on hide label right here. And then in the placeholder, I'll say enter your email. So something like this, enter your email. And then from there, let's go ahead and change the text for the button as well. So we'll go to settings right here. And instead of saying submit, I want it to say subscribe. And then we can change this to subscribing. There we go. And the submit button text, processing text, basically just as it's processing, it'll say this text instead. And I'll show you guys in a little bit. But let's click on save. The last thing we can do is under the notifications tab, just double check that the send to email address is going to be sending this to the correct email. Right now it's using shortcode to pull your admin email address that comes with your WordPress account. So back at step 1 during domain and hosting, whatever email you guys used to sign up for your admin account. So if I hover right here and go to my profile on a new tab just to show you guys. Whatever your admin email account is on your WordPress account, that's what it's automatically pulling with this shortcode. But if you want it to go to a different email address, just make sure you put in that address here. So I'm going to click on save just to make sure that's done, and we can go back into Elementor. Let's refresh the page because we just created a new form on a different page, so we want to make sure that it's refreshed. We'll come on down here, and now we'll be able to select the newsletter sign up form that we just created. Perfect. And now it says enter your email right here, and then we've got the subscribe button, which is automatically formatted to be the same as your other buttons. But one thing I don't like is that the button is over here or underneath the text right here. So there's two things I'm going to try to fix this. First, I'm going to go up here to the section, and I'm going to change the width from boxed to full width, or instead of boxed to full width, we could actually just increase the width like this. But it looks like no matter how wide the width, it's always going to put the button on the bottom. And so that confirms my suspicion that we're going to have to fix this the second way. And so what we're going to do is click on update to save our work. We're going to go back into our WP Forms builder, which again, if you didn't leave this tab open, you'll have to go over here to WP Forms, click on all forms like this, and then you can click on the newsletter sign up form and edit it. So what we're going to have to do is click on the email tab right here, and then it's going to be under the advanced tab, and we're going for the field size right here. So right now it says medium. If we change it to small, it's going to shrink that field over. And so hopefully let's see if it puts the button. So I'm going to click on save and refresh the page over here, and let's see if it fixes it. And then we need to refresh the page because we just created a form on a different page. And so this one hasn't been updated yet. So anyways, back inside of Elementor, we can scroll on down, and then back inside of the WP Forms widget, we can now select the newsletter sign up form that we're using. Perfect. And so this is the newsletter sign up form, and it automatically is going to pull the same formatting as any other button on your website. So it still takes that red and white look, which is pretty cool. But one thing I actually totally forgot about was this is the wrong widget. We have to go download another plugin to use the correct widget because this one doesn't have a style tab because it's the basic widget. So let me show you guys how to do that really quickly. So click on update to save your work. We're going to jump back to the WordPress dashboard. Under plugins, I'm going to click on add new right here. And we're going to look for one called essential add-ons for Elementor. And basically this plugin right here, essential add-ons for Elementor, just gives you 40 additional free elements to use inside of Elementor. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to click on install and then activate, and you'll see why here in a second. Okay, so now that we did that, we can close out of that tab and go back inside of Elementor. Let's refresh the page again, because we obviously just downloaded something outside of Elementor. So now, instead of using this one, what I'm going to do is go to the Rubik's Cube icon and search for WP again. But this time, instead of using the basic one, I'm going to use the better widget, and you'll see the little EA in the corner for essential add-ons. Let me show you guys really quickly. You drag this one in, and then you select the newsletter sign up form, and you'll be like, wait, Levi, it looks identical. What are you doing? Well, first of all, we're going to hide all of this stuff except for the placeholder because we don't want to hide the placeholder. And this time we have a style tab where you guys can make customization changes to the contact form rather than just being stuck with it looking like this. Not even joking. So I'm going to right click and say delete the basic one, and we're going to use this one. And now here, it automatically pulls the same, as you can see, the same style of button. Well, somewhat same style. It doesn't do the whole outline, but it's got the same color scheme at least. But if you guys want to make it the same kind of button, you guys can literally come over here all the way down to submit button, and you guys can literally customize the button to be the same. So if you want it to look like this, what you can do is you can change the background color to be nothing, as you can see. And all I did was I just changed the opacity. So I clicked here and I just changed the opacity, as you can see, so to nothing. And then this color needs to be cleared. There we go. We're going to leave the text color the same way because it goes from red to white. But what I need to do is put a border on it so we can put the border type to be solid if we really want to. We'll say it's about 2 is the width because that looks pretty much the same as this one. And so right now the button's looking the same, except for when you hover on this one, it turns red, and this one doesn't do anything. So let's go to the hover tab, and we can change the background color to change to red. So let's choose the same red that is part of our theme color. So this red color right here. And I did that by clicking on the globe, and we have all of our theme colors right here. So it's going to copy that same red, as you can see. And then on hover, I want my border color to be nothing. And so now our button is exactly the same. Do you see this? So that's why I like using the essential add-ons widget, because you guys can customize your form to look however you want. We can also, if we really want to, we can go to the submit button and we can center it. And now at least everything's in line, so it looks good. Click on update to save your work, and that is how you can change up this to be a sign up for your newsletter, which is pretty cool. And then finally, we come down to this last part, which is right now a photo gallery, which has no place place. I mean, this would be good for a portfolio website if you're a photographer, but we're not. We're doing an affiliate marketing website, which is basically a blog. And so in order to do that, we're going to delete this gallery, and instead we're going to look for a post grid, just like this, the post grid. Drag that guy on in here, and you'll see it's going to automatically pull the blog posts that are by default on your website. Now over here on the left-hand side, you can filter what posts you want. So you can filter it by category, you can filter it by format, by tags, by author, whatever you guys want. But I just wanted to show you guys that this is how you guys can choose what displays here. You guys can also choose how many are displayed per page. So there's 4. If I go down to layout settings, you guys can choose how many columns there are, which right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. If I change this to 3, it's going to choose 3 columns, but it's still displaying 4 posts. So I'd have to go back to the query page and change this down to 3, and now there's only 3. So you guys can decide how you want this to look. I'm just going to go back to the default really quickly. Let's go up to 4 so that they all look like this. Query. There we go. That was a weird glitch. But this is a post grid showing off all of the different articles that you have on your website. So only click on update to save my work. Now I wanted to show you guys, this is automatically pulling the posts that you already have on your website. So if I go over here to my WordPress dashboard really quickly and I open up all of my blog posts, you'll see that by default, you already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 6 blog posts that AI created for you at the very beginning of this tutorial when we were setting up the domain and hosting. So remember that little text prompt that we had, the AI prompt, and I told you it's going to create blog posts? It created these, which is pretty cool. So if I view these really quickly, this is a blog post that AI wrote for you based on just what I told it to. So based in the beautiful city of Austin, Texas, CAPW hiking is the go-to source for blah, 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 blah. So it'll create some blog posts for you just so you have something started on your website, which is pretty cool. But I just wanted to show you guys that you already have blog posts on your website, 6 of them to be exact, and they're all different. So the ultimate hiking guide, 10 essential hiking gears. You might want to come in here and change them because obviously AI isn't perfect, but you guys get the idea. The ultimate guide to hiking, the best hiking trails in Austin. So you guys get the idea, which is pretty cool. So anyways, what this post form is doing is it's automatically taking those blog posts and just displaying them on your website. Now you guys can also choose how these are displayed. So if you want, we can go over here to the style tab and we can choose like the background color, which right now it's white. So I'm going to leave it like that, but you can change that background color if you want to, you know, something like red if you really wanted to, but I'm just going to clear it. You guys can choose the spacing between items and stuff like that. I'll let you guys kind of choose how you want them to be displayed on your website. You can change the thumbnail style, which right now there's no pictures because the blog posts don't have featured images. So actually, let me show you guys how to do that really quickly. We'll update to save our work. So in order to add pictures to these blog posts, what we'll do is we can close out of the WP forms. Back on your dashboard, we'll go to all posts really quickly. And I'm going to show you guys how to edit blog posts later on in the video. So don't worry. I'm just showing you really quickly how to add a picture so that it shows up here. The way you do that is you have to actually edit each blog post individually. And inside of this block editor where you can literally edit your blog post, over here on the right-hand side, you'll be able to go down to featured image. And here's the image that you can put. So let me go ahead and just off camera, I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of featured images. Let me just go ahead and just click on random one here. I'm going to add a bunch of featured images to each one of the blog posts and I'll come back. Once you're done uploading an image, you can just click on update to save and then literally just close out of the tab. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the rest of these posts really quickly. So we just added a picture to this one. I'm going to go in and add a picture to each one of these really quickly just to show you guys. But again, all you do is you click on edit and then you just go over here to featured image and add a picture. That's it. So I'll see you guys in a second. Let me go ahead and just upload a bunch of pictures to these. Okay, and just like that, all I did was just add pictures to the featured image. So now let's go back to Elementor and refresh the page. Those pictures are going to be displayed on your website. By default, AI doesn't add pictures to those blog posts that it creates for you. But so you'll have to kind of do that yourself. As you can see, I have some pictures that aren't cropped correctly, but that's not really the point. I just wanted to show you guys that the pictures show up right here. So now, while we're editing the post grid, if you go to the style tab, you guys have the thumbnail style where you can add like radius to it, which basically curves the images if you want. So I just wanted to show you guys that that's how you can make changes to that. You've got color, typography, and spacing. So you guys can change the color of the text. So like you can change the red and the green all in here. So the hover title color, as you can see, it's blue. We can change this to like our theme color if we want to. So now every time you hover over one of these, it changes red. The title color is black right now, which I think is appropriate. So we'll just leave it like that. Let's see here. We can go here to the read more button, which is right here. And we can change that from green to red if we want to. So it matches the same color scheme as our website. And then from here, if we want to, we can also change change that hover style, so every time I hover over one of these pictures, it does that arrow, you guys can just do that right here. So instead of the little arrow right here, you guys can choose a different icon if you want to, or you can just remove the icon altogether. So now when you hover, it just changes to black. So that's completely up to you guys. And then here's the color as well, by the way. So that's how you guys can make changes to your post grid down here, which is pretty cool. We do have 6 blog posts. So what I could do is go to the content tab, and then instead of 4 posts per page, I could go up to 6. And then as you can see, they're not perfectly centered because there's 6 of them in 4 columns. So instead I can go to the layout and choose 3. And so now when it doesn't decide to glitch, let me just go down and then up. There we go. When it's not glitching, now I've got an even larger post grid because I chose 3 individual columns and I chose 6 to be displayed in total, if that makes sense. So that's kind of a cool way of making that change if you guys want to. But other than that, it looks like we're done. We've already customized the website to be our own. Now, obviously, I'm assuming that you guys would have put your own pictures of whatever you guys are going to make your affiliate marketing website about. So if you're doing a website about drones, or if you're doing a website about baking or something like that, you guys would have pictures of drones or like cookies in the background, for example. But this is going to be my hiking website. But I think the homepage is looking great. So now that you guys know how to use Elementor to customize your website, I'm not going to go ahead and waste time in this tutorial showing you guys how to customize the other pages, like the about page or the services page or the contact page. To be honest, actually the services page, let's go ahead and remove it because we don't even need it. So back on our WordPress dashboard, we go over to the appearance tab and then go to menus right here. We're going to first remove it from the, the navigation menu. So click on navigation menu right here. And when you do, we'll click on select. We're going to take out services from here. So if you click on it, we can hit remove and then save the menu. So when you close out of this tab and go back to your website and refresh the page, now you'll see that there's no longer services up in the navigation, but there's still a page here. So let's go delete the page as well. And the way you do that is you just go over here to pages. I'm gonna click on all pages. So under all pages, we can see the services page right here, and we're just gonna click on trash bin right here. And now the services page was deleted. Because again, this isn't a business website for services where you want people to hire you. This is a blog website where you're gonna write articles about certain subjects. So there isn't really a point to having a services page. So now we can refresh the page, and as you can see, it doesn't exist because there's no services page anymore. So we can go to the about page. But anyways, I'll let you guys edit your about page and your contact page because it's very easy to do. If I click on the about page right here and then click on edit with Elementor, it's really simple. You guys can literally just change your text. You guys know how to change text by just typing directly on the screen. And then the same thing down below. You literally just click here and you can just change the text to say whatever you want. And then up on top, if you guys don't want that red, you can just, of course, edit the section up here. And you guys already know how to do this. You'll go over to the style tab, background overlay, and you guys can change it to classic and then just choose black. And that looks pretty good. Click on update to save. Let's go ahead and preview the changes. So that's our about page now. And then if you guys want to edit the contact page, I'll let you guys make most of the changes. But again, you would open up the page, go to edit with Elementor. And then again, you guys know how to make changes to text. You literally just click on it and change it. From here, you'll literally click on it and you'll see that there's just 2. It's just like a little bullet point system right here. So if I just drag this up like this, I can reorder them, as you can see. And you click on it and then you can literally change the text right here. And then you can also just click on the icon and choose a different one. So for instance, if instead you wanted this to be an email, well, actually there's an email down here. So these are phone numbers, these are emails, and then this is hours. So for instance, if I click down here, instead of an I could say that this is an envelope, you know, for example. And so now there's a little envelope saying that this is an email. You guys get the idea. That's how you change the text. That's how you change the icon. Pretty simple. Same thing for all 3 of those. And then over here on the right-hand side, you guys don't have to make any changes because again, it's just using your WP Forms contact form right here. So if you guys want to make changes to this contact form, you would have to go over to WP Forms again, right here. And instead of editing the newsletter, you would enter the contact form. And now you can see you've got name, phone number, email, and message. And you have name, phone number, email, and message. And so you guys can make changes right here if you want to. You could change the text, or you could change the placeholder, which just says phone number, obviously. If you guys don't want phone numbers, you guys can just hit the delete button. You guys get the idea. Just make sure that under the settings tab, for notifications, that it's going to your correct email, which right now it's not. It's actually going to the wrong email. So we can make sure that it's going to our actual email. Okay, so that is how you guys can make those changes to your contact page. Down below, all this is just a Google Maps widget, as you can see. And if you click on the pencil icon in the top right corner right here to edit it, you'll see edit Google Maps. There's literally only one thing you can change, and it's the location. So I could just say, you know, you'd put in the address to wherever your business is. So I'm going to say Austin, Texas, and it's going to automatically pull Austin, Texas. And then I can just change the zoom if I want to zoom out a little bit, and it zooms out. Whoa, that was a lot. Okay. So now I zoomed out a little bit for Austin, and then I can also change the height like this. Pretty simple. If you guys don't even want the Google Maps widget on here, you can literally just click on the X right here, and it's going to delete that. And now it's just a very simple contact page. So I'm going to click on update to save. So you guys can make those changes on your own. I just wanted to show you guys how, but that is pretty much all you got to do to customize your website. Okay, so now that our website looks fantastic, there's one last thing that we need to make changes to, and that would be the header, which is this up here, and then also the footer, which is at the very bottom. So let me go ahead and show you guys how to do that right now. Instead of going into edit with Elementor, what we're going to do is go over here to the customize tab, because the header and footer are not edited inside of Elementor. Those are outside of Elementor. So in order to edit the header, we're going to go up here to the header builder, and you'll see that we've got the logo over here and the menu and button over here. And if you look down at the bottom, we've got the logo and then the menu and the button. And so down below, this is a visual representation of what's happening up on top. Okay. So you can also click on whichever one of these you want, and you can edit it to do what you want. So if I were to click on the button right now, I could change the text right here. So instead of take action, I could say contact. So contact us if we want. And then instead of having the word contact in the navigation menu right here, I could literally have the button do the same thing. So let's do that really quickly. I'm going to click on publish to save, because that's the same thing as the update button inside of Elementor. What we need to do is I can't put the link in here and just say contact, because this one doesn't search my pages like Elementor does. So we have to go grab the link really quickly. And it's really easy to do. Just open up your pages, go to the contact page and click on view. So I'm on my contact page, and now you can just copy the link and then click on publish. And so now whenever you click on this button, as you can see, it's going to take you to the contact page. So now we don't need that contact button there anymore. So what we can do is we can go over here to the menus at the very bottom, and then we can click on navigation. And from here, we can just remove the contact page. So now it says home, about, and contact. And so they can still get to the contact page. They just hit the button. Okay. So next, what I want to do is show you guys how to add your categories up on top, but we haven't even created the categories yet. So let me go ahead and show you guys how to create the blog categories. So these categories that we created for our blog posts, I'm going to show you guys how to add them up here so that people can go straight to whatever category they want. Or as they're scrolling, they'll be like, oh, I want to read up about tents today. And so they can click on tents, or they'll see it up here. So the way that we'll do that is, again, under the navigation menu, we're going to click on add items, and we'll go down to categories. But right now there's no categories here because we haven't created them yet. I mean, there's 3, but we're not going to use those. So back on the WordPress dashboard, we'll go over here to posts and then click on categories. And again, if you didn't have the other tab open, you would just click on the X button and go back to your WordPress dashboard. But from here, under categories, we can create the categories on our blog. And so first of all, I'm going to delete all the other categories because I don't need them. So highlight them all by clicking on the check button and then hit delete and apply. And so next, what I'm going to do is create my own categories. So let's create one that's called tents, because I created a tent category. We'll call the other one footwear. And then finally, we'll create one that's called equipment. And you'll notice that I'm leaving the slug blank, but after I add a new category, if I were to quick edit, you'll see that it automatically puts the slug in, so I don't need to. So now I've got my categories ready to go. There's nothing in them quite yet, but as soon as we create our blog posts, which is in like the next step, we'll be able to throw them in here. So since we don't have any blog posts to throw in here yet, what we can do is just close out of the tab, and now we'll refresh this page. And now we can go back into menus and navigation. And from here, if we click on add items, we'll be able to go to categories, and our categories are displaying. So we can add tents, footwear, and equipment. And then we can also rearrange this by moving the about to the very bottom. So now we've got homepage, all of our categories, about, and contact. So let's click on publish to save. Now, when everyone clicks on tents, they'll be taken to the tent category, but unfortunately, nothing's going to pop up. So let's fix that as well. Now, the first thing that we can do is we'll go over here to posts. And if you guys remember, these are the blog posts that were created through AI. And so we can go ahead and add these to different categories if we want to. And it's really easy to do that. The way that we do it is we can select all of them like this, or you can select specific ones. So let's just say these first 3 bulk actions we're going to edit. And we can add these to equipment, for example. I know that they don't actually have anything to do with equipment. I mean, if anything, this one is about hiking boots, so I should have put it in footwear, but just bear with me. Just pretend that those 3 are actually about equipment. Then maybe the next 3 can be about footwear, and we'll click on update. And then the last 2 that don't have any categories, as you can see, we can say that those 2 are for tents. And again, use your imagination. We're just pretending that this says the best tents to use in Austin, Texas. Hiking tent essentials, must-haves for your outdoor adventures, those kinds of things, and that's why it's in the tent category. So just imagine. And so now, whenever we open up our website and someone were to click on tents, your blog posts are going to appear. And then if they click on footwear, some different ones are going to appear. And if they go to equipment, here's all of the equipment posts. And so that is how you guys can edit your navigation menu. We'll close out of those two tabs and we're back here. Let me click on the home page. So anyways, that's how you guys can edit your navigation menu. You go over to menus, navigation, and then from here, this is where you guys can kind of rearrange whatever you want. Okay, so that's the header, or that's the navigation and the button. Let's go ahead and start talking about your logo. So I'm gonna show you guys how to build a logo completely for free without having to download any software. Let's go ahead and do that right now. We're gonna open up a new tab and go to logomaker.com. Logomaker.com, but without the E right here, so Logo Maker. So next we're gonna click on Start My Design, and then from here, I can show you guys how to use Logo Maker. Up here in the top left corner is where you can search from over like 3 million different graphics that they have available. You also have your categories right here. I'm gonna click on Back to Canvas in the top right corner. Over here on the left-hand side, you've got things like the text, so you can just add basic text. You can add a triangle, a square, all of these basic shapes, or this one right here, so if I add a square. And then you also have the paint bucket and the undo button. And then anytime you click on an item, you can change the saturation. So I can either saturate or desaturate, as you guys can see. And then if I fully saturate, I also have the color wheel. And then I also have my opacity. So now you guys can use this to create a logo from scratch. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna start by doing is adding some text like this. And I'm just gonna put in the title of my website. So hiking CAPW. And then from here, you guys can go up to the top and choose your category of font. And so I might choose something like simple and modern, but then I'll choose something like Poppins Bold or something like that. And then I can change my text to black. So I think that looks pretty good. So that's how you guys can add some text. And then I'll add some more text. I'm gonna drag it right below and I'll say something like, explore the outdoors. And this time I'll use something instead of that, I'll use Lato and I'll make the text black again, but I'm gonna go into the styles button right here and I'm gonna make the letter spacing really wide. So something like this. Explore the outdoors. There we go. So there's the text and the title and the subtitle of the logo. And then lastly, I can look for something like hiking or mountains. And I can just pick a random picture that I like. And so let's just choose, for example, this one or something like that. And I'll just put it over here on the side. Okay, there's my logo. Obviously, you guys might want to put a little bit more effort into your logo. I'm just kind of creating this from scratch just as an example. But I also might want to change like the color of this to red or something like that to match the website color. Completely up to you guys. But I'm actually going to be creating 2 different logos. The first one I want to be all black. So something like this. When you guys are ready to create your logo and save it, and you like everything that you've done, go up here to the top right corner and click on Save. And then it's gonna say download options right here. If you click on this button, it's gonna ask you to pay for your logo because it's gonna convert your logo into a high resolution and then say, hey, if you wanna buy it, it's $29. But it is unlimited download use. You get full ownership license. It's gonna be a high resolution JPEG, PNG file and everything. If this is a logo for your business, I would strongly recommend paying for the high resolution file. I wouldn't cheap out on a small resolution of your logo. But if you guys don't wanna pay for a logo and you do want it for free, then you can click on download low resolution for free. Enter in your email like this and hit send, and it's going to send your logo to your email completely for free, no questions asked. Done. So I'm gonna click on the X button. So now you have a logo completely for free. It's been sent to your computer. But I'm also gonna go ahead and highlight everything like this and change it to white. You can't see it, but it's still there. And I'm gonna save another copy of this logo. And I'm gonna hit download the low resolution for free, put in my email, and send. And it's gonna send that logo to my email, so now I can download it. So now we can close out of Logo Maker. And then once you guys have downloaded the logos from your email, you can go into the header builder, and you'll see site title and logo. This is where you're gonna put in the regular logo. Now here, let me go ahead and make a difference for you guys. The transparent header down below is where you can put one logo, and then you can put another logo inside of your site title and logo. Now, here's the deal. You'll notice that this logo is white, so it pops off of this dark background very well. If I go to the About page, for example, again, it's easy to see because it's on a dark background. But if I go over here to Tense, which is on a white background, you can't see this logo. Even though it's there, you see the little pencil? It's there, you just can't see it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, I want to use a different logo on any transparent header. Enable this. So the different logo that I want on a transparent header is gonna be my white logo. So let's go ahead and upload our logos that we created. So the transparent header is the one that's going on a dark background. So I want the white logo to be there. But I'm gonna click on the back button and go to site title and logo. This is the main logo of the website. I'm gonna remove these two. I want my main logo to be black. And you can skip the cropping. And now, as you can see, so let's click on publish to save our work. If I'm on the home page, which has a transparent header, it's gonna use my white logo. But if I'm on any of my blog posts, which have a white background on the header, it's gonna use the black logo, which is a pretty important distinction to make so that your logo isn't invisible on your website. Okay, so that is how you guys can upload your logo onto your website. And that's also how you guys can get it completely for free, which is pretty cool. So now that we're done editing the header, we can go on down to the footer. So I'm gonna scroll on down and we have our footer down below. We can click on Footer Builder over here on the left-hand side. And again, you're going to get this visual representation down below. You'll notice that it's left, middle, and right. So on the left, I've got widget 3 and a social. So widget 3 is all of this stuff, and then this is the social. You got widget 1, which is all of this stuff. And you got widget 2, which is all of this stuff. And then the copyright is at the bottom. The copyright's really easy. You literally click on it, and you can literally type whatever you want. It's just using short code to pull like these things. And then over here, you can edit your socials by clicking on these. So actually, let me go ahead and just clear this up to make this a lot easier. I'm not going to include these two links. This is like a menu and another menu where it's got like company profile, CR initiatives, read articles. This is all useless to your blog, so literally just delete it. And then do the same thing for widget 2. I'm just going to remove it. And then next, what I'm going to do is literally, I'm actually also going to remove widget 3. I'm going to pull the socials to the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on the plus button and just, let's say, add it, widget 1, which it looks like it's still going to use that. So we're going to click on widget 1 and we can edit the block over here. And I'm going to click on the navigation menu and just delete it. And instead, I'm going to add an image and we're going to use our logo. So now we've got the logo on the left and our socials on the right with our copyright centered in the middle. So now the only thing you got to change down here in your footer is your socials. So we'll click on social right here and you guys can change the socials very easily. First of all, you can literally click on it. You can change the text, which you wouldn't want to because obviously it's a Facebook icon. So you want it to say Facebook. And then you would literally put your Facebook link right here. So you'd go to a new tab, log into your Facebook account, navigate to your account, copy the link, and then you would paste it right here. And then you would do the same thing for all of your other accounts. You guys can do things like Instagram. If you want, you can click on Instagram and say add. And so now you've got Instagram. You guys could add LinkedIn if you want to. You guys get the idea. You click on it and then you just add your URL. Click on it, add your URL. You guys can also reorder them by just dragging if you want. So like this, as you guys can see, and it reorders them. And then whenever you guys are done, if you want, you can click on the design tab and you guys can change the color, but honestly, it matches the theme of your website. So there's not really a point. But whenever you guys are done changing the design and the general tab, you guys can click on publish and that's it. I made the footer a lot simpler because you don't need to have all those links down here. You can just have your socials. Okay, so now that's done. We can go ahead and click on the back button. And actually, we can close out of this tab and just go back to the WordPress dashboard because now, if we open our website up on a new tab, everything's complete. Our homepage is done. You got a logo up here in the top left, navigation menu all the way across the right with the contact button. You've got the whole website looks great because we already customized the site. And then we also have the footer down below, which is branded with our logo. All right, I think it looks pretty good. And so we'll jump back to the WordPress dashboard.
All right, friends, we have finished building the blog website and I gotta say it looks great. Now it's time for me to show you guys how to create a blog post on your website. From your WordPress dashboard, we're going to go over to the left-hand side and click on posts. It's going to show you a list of all of the blog posts that you have available on your website. From here, we'll go to the top of the page and click on add new.
All right, so now we're inside of WordPress's block editor, which their block editor is basically just how you're going to be editing your blog posts inside of your website. Now there's multiple ways that you can edit a blog post inside of your WordPress website, and we can talk about that for many YouTube videos to come. So I'm just going to cover the most basic way, which is how to use their block editor. And it's really simple. First of all, we have to add a title to our blog post. Right now, I'm not talking about strategy on how to title these blog posts in the best way possible. What I'm going to do right now is just come up with a title off the top of my head. It's going to be terrible, but let's just write something down here. How to choose the best hiking boots. You'd probably want to do something a little bit more thought-provoking or a little bit more clickbaity, whatever you guys want to do. Maybe throw in some SEO ranking keywords or something like that. But for right now, I'm just putting pen to paper. I just want to put something down on the page. So I'm just showing you guys that this is where you're going to enter in the title of the post. So next, you can click down here and you can either type a slash to choose whatever block you want. So if you hit slash and then I start typing image, for example, you'll see that image is showing up. Obviously, it was already there. But now I can hit enter and it's going to enter in that image widget right here. And then I can media library, I can open it up and I could throw in a picture into my blog post and that's how I can do that. So that's the first way is your hands don't even have to leave the keyboard. Let me go ahead and delete that one. But you can also just choose to start typing words and then you hit enter and now you've chosen another block and you guys get the idea. You can start typing pretty quickly here, but we're going to go ahead and just delete all of this really quickly. There we go. So what these blocks do is you guys can click on either the plus button over here on the right-hand side, or you can click on the plus button over here. It's very similar to Elementor, where you guys can literally just take a widget over here, like a heading widget, throw it in, and now I have a heading widget. And you guys can choose between H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's just choose H1, and let's just say, Buyer's Guide to Picking the Best Boots. And then right underneath that, we could go ahead and start with like a heading 2 if we wanted to. So we can click on heading, change it to heading 2, and let's just say materials used. And so this is the paragraph right underneath where we could start talking about these are the, blah, 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 blah. These are the types of materials that are used for boots. You've got fleece, you've got this, you've got that, those kinds of things. So just to give you guys an example, it works very similar to a Word document where you can literally just start adding text if you want to. But I wanted to show you guys that that's going to be how you add heading widgets. In the same way that you add heading widgets, you can also add images as well. You literally just click on image. That's how you add an image. Or you can add a gallery instead. You guys can upload media to the gallery. So for instance, if I wanted, the 3 hero pictures that I used earlier. So let's pick these 3 and insert them in, create new gallery. Now I've got a gallery of images that I can start adding text around if I wanted to. You guys get the idea. Anytime you want to add some kind of an object, you just click on the plus button and you can literally drag it in, or if you just click on it, it's going to add it right wherever your mouse was. And so obviously it just added a heading right here. So that's how you guys can add widgets and things like that to your blog post, which is pretty simple. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is your heading structure. And so as you guys notice, we've got H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So I've got some blog posts open up here on different tabs because I wanted to show you guys some successful blog posts and kind of show you guys what I mean by this heading number right here. So you can think of heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through 6 as like the outline, the structure outline of your blog post. Every time you have a new topic or a subtopic, which would be like a heading or a subheading, you guys can decide where in the outline you want to put it. So let me go ahead and show you guys what an actual blog post would look like. So we'll scroll up here to the very top of this website. So I just went ahead and searched like how to choose the right hiking boots into the search bar. And then this is the first blog post that I found that I kind of liked and I wanted to use as an example. So what you'll notice is you usually have some kind of a massive title that looks like this, which is kind of similar to the title that we just put up here. And also, if I'm being real, this is actually the same thing as a title because we made it H1. H1 is usually going to be your title. So if I'm looking at this, this is going to be my H1 text. This is like paragraph text, basically. It's just very standard text. We can scroll on down and you'll notice that this title is slightly smaller and a different font and style than this title right here. And that's because this is H1 and down below this is H2. So this is like the main subject. And then you have a subheading with some sub-content. And then you have another subheading with some sub-content, if you guys understand my drift here. And so if I were to open up Command-Shift-C or Control-Shift-C, I'm basically opening up Google's DevTools. You guys don't need to understand how to read any of this, but what you can do with Google DevTools is anytime I hover over something, it'll tell me what that object is on the website. And you'll notice that whenever I hover over the title like this, over here in this little box on the left-hand side, you'll see the first thing that pops up right there. Here, let me see if I can get it to stop doing that by selecting the title. There we go. The first thing that pops up in that little box is going to be this little H1 that you guys can see right here. I don't know if you can see it. So whenever I'm hovering over it, you'll see in that purple text in that little box that's over there next to my mouse, it says H1.article-title_title. So that's how we know that this is an H1 text. So if I scroll on down and I look at this one, this is going to be H2, which is a subheading of H1, if that makes sense. And then we can scroll on down a little bit further and we have H3, which is a subheading of this H2 text up here. So we're talking about what type of hiking am I doing? And they say, maybe you have to pay attention to your hiking terrain. Maybe you have to pay attention to the weather. Maybe you have to pay attention to something else. This is a sub point of the main point, which is asking what type of hiking am I doing? So you'll notice that this is H2, this is H3. I scroll down even further and the next big title I find, if I hover my mouse over it, it's another H2. So this is a new main point of the blog post. And then you've got some information down below. And then I come down to this next one, which is another H2. So this is another main point. As you guys can see, it structures your blog post in a very beautiful and concise way. And so that's kind of the differences between like H1, H2, all the way down to H6. Now, it's probably unlikely that you guys are going to be going all the way down to H6 unless you guys are doing some kind of a huge, super detailed report. You're probably only going to stick to H1, H2, and H3 being, you'll say something like, let me go ahead and delete this one, for example, and we'll delete this one as well, and we'll delete this one as well, and we'll also delete this gallery. So let's just say, oops, it looks like it only deletes one picture at a time. So let me just delete all 3. There we go. And I still have the gallery. That's cool. There we go. Okay, so let's say we were going to create a blog post for the first time. Well, the first thing we would do is we would probably copy the fact that this one it's a video, but most of the time you're going to have some kind of like a featured image or a picture. Now we can go over here to post and add a featured image really quickly. So let's just add like a hiking picture. Let's do this one. Set featured image. Okay, so we've got our featured image here and that's what's going to display on the website. We could have inside of this first title a picture. So let's go ahead and go /image. just like this, and we could use a picture like this. Or let's just say it's something like this if we wanted to, but actually I want it to stretch across the whole side. So let's pick this one because you can kind of see your boots. So from here, we've got kind of the main picture of the blog post. So how to choose the best hiking boots. And we're kind of following along with this example right here. So how to choose the best hiking boots. We've got our picture right here. We can go ahead and click on the plus button down below and we can add some paragraph text. And just to save myself some time, I'm going to open up a new tab and just add some dummy text just to show you guys what it would look like. There we go. And I'm just going to add some dummy text just to be a spacer or like a placeholder for this. So Control C, we'll go back into the blog post. We'll add kind of like a little X script underneath it right here. So we're saying how to choose the best hiking boots. And then in this paragraph, we would say something like, we're going to be talking about in today's blog post, how to find the best hiking boots for you. And there's 3 ways that we could do that. The first would be making sure that you have, yada, 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 yada. So we'll go ahead and come down below here and let's go ahead and add our first heading. And so we'll hit the slash key H and we'll add a heading widget. And we'll make sure that it's an H2 because we already have our H1 text up above. So we don't want to add another title to the blog post because we already have one. So this is the first main point of the blog post. And we'll say something like, what is the terrain that you're going to be hiking over? Because that plays a big part in the footwear that you would need. We could hit enter and then we could add, some paragraphs down below about what's the terrain. And then we hit enter again and we could say, okay, let's bring up our second point. So let's bring in a heading widget like this, H2, and we could say something like, what's the climate of your trek? Oops, I forgot to hit the T key. There we go. So what's the climate of your trek? And we could say, this is where we would say something like, weather has a huge part to play in what kind of boots you would wear, because if it's going to be scorching hot, you might not want the thickest boots, but if it's going to be freezing cold, maybe you want something thicker to insulate your feet, that kind of thing. And then next we can come down here and we could say another heading widget, and we could say something like, will you be in dry or wet conditions? And then we could say another slash heading widget, and we could make this like an H3, and we could say wet conditions, and we could paste some text down here. And then we could come down here and we could make this another heading widget. Bear with me. And we say dry conditions right here. So you'll notice that as I'm going through my blog post, I'm sticking to this outline of here's my title, so that's H1. So now all I'm left with is H2. H2 is going to basically signify every main point that I have. So what's the terrain? That plays a part in how you pick your boots. What's the climate? What's the dry or wet conditions? Those are all main points in how you would choose what boots you want. And then under one of these points, if I wanted to add some sub points, I would use H3. And then under wet conditions, for example, if I wanted to bring in some sub points, I could say H4, wet and cold, and then I could, put in a paragraph right here, and then I could say /H again, and we make it H4, and we could say that this is wet and hot, for example, and then put a paragraph here. So for instance, as you guys can see, I've got my main point right here, which is one of the 3 main points of this blog post. And then down here, I've got a subpoint. Is it wet conditions or is it dry conditions? And then underneath wet conditions, is it going to be wet and cold or is it wet and hot? Does that make sense? I'm kind of trying to show you guys the structure of H1, H2, H3, and so on. And so that's how far you guys would break down. Now, as you can see, most of the time you're only going to use like maybe up to H4. It's kind of rare that you'll break down into so many subpoints that you have to break down into H6, but that's why they have all of those to kind of give you the option to have so many points that you need to break down into. But there's like a quick little overview of how you guys would write out your structure for the blog post, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and look back at this blog post right here. So we've already covered the H, the heading. So we've already covered headings and how you guys can have that structure set up. And so that's what this blog post was to show you guys. You guys can also have, a subheading like this. So this was an H3, I believe. So let's hit Control-Shift-C again, or Command-Shift-C, and we'll hover over this. I think it was H3. Yeah. So this is a subpoint of one of the main points of the document. And so the main point being right here, what type of hiking am I going to be doing? Is it going to be hiking terrain? Is it going to be, a different type of terrain, whatever. Underneath the hiking terrain, you guys can still add bullet points. You can do quotes. You can add buttons right here where it says, hey, well, if you're doing hiking terrain, are you interested in men's or women's shoes? And so I bet if I click on men's shoes, it's going to take me to a store to actually purchase. Exactly. So now it's going to take me to a store and now I can actually purchase boots for men. And if I go back and I click on the men, or if I click on the women's hiking boots, it'll take me to women's hiking boots. And this is a perfect example of affiliate marketing. They're giving you all of this information to talk about, you've got low cut, mid cut, high cut. You've got to pay attention to your hiking terrain. And hey, while you're at it and you're learning all this information about hiking boots, do you guys want to buy some? Here's a button that takes you straight to it. And this is a perfect example because these are going to be affiliate links hooked up to these 2 buttons. And then the affiliate link is going to be separate from like a regular link. They didn't just go over here to Amazon like this and then search for hiking boots and then click on one, they didn't just do this and then just copy the link right here. That's not the same thing as an affiliate link. An affiliate link is when you literally go down, usually to the footer of a website, so something like this, and you say, hey, do I want to become an affiliate? You have to create an account. For example, you'd create an account with Amazon Associates to become an affiliate. And then every product that you want to sell, you have to get a special link that has your information embedded into the link. And that is what you would hook up to this button. So that when I click on this button, it tells Amazon that I used your specific link. It's special to you. And that's how they know to make sure that you get paid. And so that's what affiliate marketing is you just have a blog website and then you have links inside of that blog, because while people are learning, they might as well buy the product that they're learning about. And so it's a pretty good idea to have those links inside your blog. Anyways, so that's just an example. Another good example that I wanted to show you guys was this blog post, because as you scroll through, you'll notice that they have buttons for individual products. And so you won't just have blog posts where they teach you how to do something, like how to choose your hiking boots. You might have one that is more of a product comparison. So how to choose hiking boots. And so this one's going to be a comparison between multiple brands. And so you've got shop hiking boots for hiking shoes, you've got day hiking, backpacking, and then the hiking boot, like the high top. So it looks like it's like the high top versus like the lower ankle or whatever. But they're doing a comparison between different types of hiking boots. You can also do product comparisons between different brands. For example, if I go over here to this best gaming monitors comparison and I scroll on down, you'll see that they're going to go over Alienware, they go over LG Ultra Gear, they go over Gigabyte. They have a bunch of different brands. They got Dell in here. So this is more of a product comparison comparing brands. This one is a product comparison of the same brand. Yeah, it looks like it's the same brand, but they're comparing the different types of hiking boots that you guys can use. And so I wanted to show you guys that there's different types of blog posts that you do as affiliate marketers. And then also a perfect example that this blog is showing is that sometimes you'll have blog posts that are very linear, like this one, where you just scroll on down and you just keep reading. And as you read, they just have products kind of posted inside of the blog post, and you can keep learning as you read. And you can see how bare bones and minimalistic and simple this is. Literally, as I scroll down, it's just a heading text, a picture, and then paragraph text. And then you have more paragraph text all the way down, and that's the end. So let me scroll on up. Up here, you have paragraph text underneath the main image and the title, which is basically what we have on ours. We've got the main text, or the main title and a picture, and then just paragraph text. You'll see the similarities very quickly. It's very easy to make these blog posts. But a good example of this one is showing that you guys can have special widgets inside of your blog posts. And this is where it gets kind of complicated, but you guys can build comparison tables inside of your blog posts. So as you can see, this one, you can just see that they literally put the text in line and they said, hey, check out this boot, button, picture. Check out this boot, button, picture. In this one, however, they literally built these like tiles where they show this is the best overall, this is the best 4K, and this is the best budget build. And then here's the price. Here's where the 3 different places you guys can buy it, star ratings, comments, and things like that. So you can see that this one, they kind of built more of a table, as you can see, and it looks like it's got 3 columns and multiple rows, as opposed to a blog post like this, where it's literally just inline text. And so there's multiple ways that you guys can go about building your blog posts. But all of that being said, we're just going to cover making basic blog posts in this video, because how to create complex blog posts with comparison tables and different things like that is a whole video all on its own. But as long as you guys know the basics of how to use this block editor, we're good to go. So while you guys are using the block editor, you guys already know how to click on the plus button, and this is how you guys can add different widgets. You guys can also add a table. As you can see, if I were to add this table like this, you guys can literally add like a 2 by, here, let's do this. Let's do like a 6 by 2, create the table. You guys can create your own table, add images inside of these, add text and everything, but it gets kind of complicated pretty quick, so I'm not going to do that for now. But you guys do have a wide range of widgets that you guys can use, like tons of them. It's kind of unbelievable. So these blog posts can get kind of complicated. But for now, we're just going to stick to kind of building basic blog posts similar to this one, where you guys just have everything in line and people can just get their information, click on your links, and you're good to go. But now that you guys know how to do that, you're probably also wondering, well, how do I change like the customization, like the style of it? Well, that's all done over here on the right-hand side, and it's really simple. The first thing is obviously whenever you click on it, that's what you're editing. So it's similar to Elementor in that way. But over here on the right-hand side, if you go to the block, so let's click on this text block right here. Very simple. You've got your color right here, so I can change the text color, which right now it's set to default, but I can change it to whatever color I want, like if I want it to be red or black or green, for example. So you guys can change your text color right here, as well as the background color. So if you really want to emphasize a spot, you can maybe highlight it in yellow and be like, hey, this is a really important point, and that's why it's highlighted yellow if you guys want to do that. You guys can also change the typography over here. You click on these little dots and you guys got all the things like appearance, line height, letter spacing, text decoration, which is like undercase and stuff, or underlining and stuff like that. You've got letter case, drop cap, and all of that stuff. And then you guys can also play around with the size of the text as well. So you guys can click with small, medium, large, or extra large. So you guys can play around with like, it basically looks like a heading text, even though it isn't, but you guys can play around with whatever sizes you guys want. And then it looks like you can also click on this little icon right here, and you guys can literally drag it to be a custom case as well. So right now it's set to custom, or I can just go back to size. And then once you guys are done making changes to your blog post and you're ready to publish, it's really simple. You'll just go up here to the top right corner and you'll click on publish, and then click on publish again. And congratulations, you guys just published your first blog post to your website. Obviously, you still had 6 others that were created by AI, but this is the first one that you guys have created on your own. And it's completely up to you if you actually wanted to post this one. Obviously, this is just an example. It's kind of useless and very fake, but you guys get the idea. So we'll close out of this guy. We can actually close out of this tab, and I'm going to close out of all of these blogs as well because I don't really need the examples anymore. So now we're back on our WordPress dashboard.
Okay, so now you guys understand how to use the block editor. I want to show you guys how to use WordPress AI Assistant, which comes with your hosting package from Hostinger. You guys can use this to write posts inside of your website instantly with AI. Check this out.
Okay, so similar to what we just did earlier, we'll go over here to the post tab, and we can click on add new if we want to, and that's how we can create a post from scratch, or we can click on add new with AI. And so if I was on the all posts page as well, you'll notice that it says add new and then add new with AI. You guys are not going to have this AI feature available unless you have the business hosting plan with Hostinger, which is the one that I recommended at the beginning of the video anyways. And I did that on purpose because with a blog website, it's really nice to be able to write AI blog posts or AI generated blog posts. That is a special feature that's only available in the business plan from Hostinger. So if you guys did follow along and you got the business hosting plan, then now you guys can create blog posts with AI. So if you click on add new with AI, it's going to open up the WordPress AI Assistant. As you can see, it says AI Assistant right here. And so now it says, what do you guys want to create today? Do you want to create a post, a page, or a landing page? And I'm going to say a post. And then from here, do you guys want to create a tone of voice? Do you want it to be casual, neutral, or formal? And so I'm going to choose formal because this is a blog post for a formal website. And then you also get to choose if you want short or long. And it even tells you what they're used for. So short is usually used for like video infographics or like product descriptions. And then long is usually to make high-end ranked articles that will generate more leads, which is exactly what we want. So now directly inside of your WordPress dashboard, you're about to create a blog post with AI, which is pretty cool. Rather than having to open a new tab, go over to ChatGPT, do all that stuff, you can do it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in like a little prompt right here, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote out this. So write a blog post about choosing the correct type of hiking boots, mention things like the type of terrain, weather, climate, temperature, weight, cost, durability, stuff like that. So I gave it as much information as I could think about when it comes to writing a blog post for this. So I'm going to say generate content and see what we get. Okay, perfect. Okay, so first of all, check this out. It tries to throw in whatever keywords it thinks Google is going to like so that you rank high in search engines, which is a really big SEO tip that we're going to be covering in part 2 of this video. So don't worry if you don't know what SEO means. I'm going to talk about it. It's going to be okay. But this is something that is crucial to making blog posts that are going to boost engagement in your website, and that's throwing keywords that everyone is looking for into your blog post. And so it says these keywords will help your article and website be ranked higher in search engines, and you can input up to 5 keywords. And so you'll notice it says choosing hiking boots, best hiking boots, hiking gear, outdoor gear. I can add more if I want to, but those are the ones that AI generated, which are all pretty applicable. So that's pretty impressive. Next, we've got the meta description. So choosing the right hiking boots is crucial for comfortable and safe hiking experience. Learn how to select the perfect boots based on terrain, weather, temperature, weight, cost, quality, and durability. And check out the top recommended brands and where to buy the hiking boots. That is a fantastic meta description. And AI generated the whole thing for me. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it the way it is. And for those of you who don't know, meta descriptions are basically just summarizing the entire document into one little tiny concise sentence or 2 sentences so that people understand what this is about. And I think this summarizes the blog post fantastically. Is that even a word? Wonderfully. So let's go ahead and leave it the way it is. We can scroll on down and it looks like it automatically adds an image. AI chose that image. I did not, even though it's hilariously the same picture that I got from unsplash.com. So I wonder if AI used unsplash.com to throw this image in here, or if it used it from my media library. I have no idea. But the fact that it understood that this is a hiking boot and threw it into this website or into this blog post is pretty cool. So anyways, a good picture for the blog post. Next, we've got choosing the right hiking boots, a comprehensive guide. And then you guys can go ahead and double check all the information. And you'll notice that the first thing is that this is H1 text and this is a little bit smaller. So this is H2 text. And you'll see that it breaks up the blog post beautifully so that it's really easy for your eyes to understand exactly where you are in the document. You've got the main title, H1, with some paragraph text underneath it. Then you've got H2. So this is the first point and then your paragraph. Second point, paragraph. Third point, paragraph. You guys get the idea. Other factors to consider, you've got some bullet points thrown into the blog post, which is pretty cool. Then you've got top recommended brands, and it literally recommends brands based on what AI could find. And then down below, we've got where to buy the hiking boots as well. I'd say this is a fantastic blog post. It's a little short. If you look at the bottom, it says it's only 529 words long. You'd probably want your blog posts to be anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 words long. So you're just below the cutoff. You might want to add like another 500 words if you were to post this, but you've got a really good guide to get started, which is a fantastic feature to have built into your WordPress experience. I still can't get over the fact that literally inside of WordPress, I can create blog posts just like this. And then straight from here, I can either publish it directly to my website live, or I can edit it as a draft. Either way, fantastic. So if I click on publish, it's literally instantly going to throw it on my website, or I can click on edit as a draft, and it's going to bring it into the WordPress block editor, which you guys now know how to use. And then we can make changes to the blog post. So first of all, we would want to go through here and double check all of the text to make sure that everything's accurate, because, you know, AI is pretty good, but it's not perfect. And then on top of that, we can come in here and we can add some more content to each one of these places just to kind of beef up the blog post and make it a little bit longer. But whenever you guys are done making changes to your blog post, you guys can come up here and click on publish and send it straight off to your website.
All right, before we actually dive into the process of crafting a blog post, let's transition to the second part of this video where we'll delve deep into the art of affiliate marketing. This upcoming part covers some crucial parts to your success with your new website, so I urge you guys to just stick with me. My goal is to provide you guys with a concise step-by-step roadmap for initiating your affiliate marketing journey. To begin, your first step involves selecting a niche or an industry that resonates with you. Now, once you've nailed that down, it's time to get more specific with it, and I'll show you guys what I mean when we get there. Next, I want you guys to make up some kind of a calendar system to help you guys plan topics that you intend to explore in the coming days. Following that, you're going to want to leverage the power of SEO to optimize your blog post titles for maximum discoverability. And then finally, we'll use AI to write our blog posts for us. Now, the initial step in this process is selecting your niche, and that can be pretty much anything that you're passionate about. And this is all about choosing a topic that really tickles your fancy or one that you would happily chat about for hours on end. Here's the deal. When you're zeroing in on a niche, it's crucial that you either genuinely love it, possess an expertise in it, or ideally both. To make the brainstorming process easier, I'm going to use ChatGPT to whip up a list of 30 niche ideas centered around hiking and camping.
Okay, perfect. And just like that, you'll see that I got a massive list of 30 different niche ideas that I can use for creating a blog. So I could maybe say that my blog isn't about hiking and camping per se, but maybe it's more about hiking photography specifically, or wildlife and observation and nature observation. Or maybe I literally make a blog about hiking photography and wildlife observation or something like that. You can even mix two of these to make your own super specific niche to build a blog on. So instead of doing like what I did, where it's a super vague hiking CAPW, so like everything hiking, maybe you only talk about, you know, national park exploration. And that's what this blog is about.
Once you've settled on your niche, it's time to narrow it down even further. You don't want to just be writing about generic water bottles, for example. Instead, let's dial it in a bit. How about we focus on water bottles specifically designed for expert hikers who brave icy weather conditions and need to filter snow water into drinking water. And I don't know if that's a real thing, but we're going to pretend it is. Now, that's a spur of the moment example, but you guys catch my drift. Take your chosen industry or topic and sprinkle a little extra layer to a specificity. And for this part, I'm going to let ChatGPT do a lot of the heavy lifting again. So check this out.
Okay, perfect. So now what I did was I chose one of these niche ideas. So I said camping gadgets and technology, which is kind of cool. Kind of follows along with what I was doing for like product reviews on tents and footwear and stuff like that. So I chose this one because I thought it would be pretty applicable. So camping gadgets and technology. And then I said, using number 19 from the list you just gave me previously, which is number 19, so this one, I said, go ahead and give me a list of 5 more ideas that are more specific. And so it took the hiking gear and camping technology and said, here are 5 more. Solar powered camping gear, which is kind of a cool idea. Smart camping apps and devices, camping and hiking wearable technology, camping tech DIY projects, and then camping gadgets for specific situations. I have got to say, these are 5 great examples of how you can take something like just talking about camping equipment and being more specific and saying that this is a blog about solar powered camping gear. And then I do product reviews on only gear that is solar powered for camping, whether it be rechargeable batteries, whatever you guys want to do. I don't know a lot about solar powered camping camping gear, but you guys get the idea. This is how you can add just an extra layer or two of specificity to the niche that you've already chosen.
Now that you've got your niche all sorted out, it's time to get those creative gears turning for your blog posts. Here's a tip. Consider setting up a neat little calendar schedule system, and then you decide how frequently you'd like to grace the internet with your wisdom. The key is obviously to brainstorm and plan your topics well in advance so that you're all set before your fingers even touch the keyboard. Personally, I'm going to bounce right back into ChatGPT and see if we can whip up a nifty little list of like 10 blog post titles tailored to the camping and hiking wearable technology realm. It's a fantastic way to stir up some fresh ideas. You can take these titles, give them a little unique twist, and then voila, they're ready for your blog. Now, just a word of advice though. While ChatGPT can be a fantastic starting point, I'd recommend tweaking the titles just a little bit to make them your own and ensure they resonate perfectly with your audience before you post them to your website.
And there you have it. Now, based on number 3, which is camping and hiking wearable technology, which is the one that I thought was kind of most applicable to the website that we're building, which I was talking about how to choose like the right hiking boots. So I thought wearable technology would be cool. So I said, based on number 3, go ahead and give me 10 blog post titles. And it did. So the ultimate guide to wearable fitness trackers and hiking campers for hikers and campers, top smartwatches, how to use the right GPS watch, how to use GPS beacons and emergency alert. I mean, these are all fantastic blog post ideas that I can use.
Now, with those 10 captivating titles I've just gathered from ChatGPT, I can now easily spread them out across a calendar, depending on if I want to post twice a week or once a week or whatever you guys want to do. Of course, some of you might be thinking about just going all in with daily posts, and that's absolutely cool too. But what's truly fantastic about this approach is that it offers you a blueprint. Now, I can take these 10 gems of ideas and strategically space them out over a period of time and give myself peace of mind knowing that I have content ready to go in the future. And just like that, I've got all of my topics lined up. All that's left on my to-do list is to craft some SEO-friendly titles for each one of these bad boys. When you're in the business of drafting engaging titles for your blog posts, don't forget to harness the power of SEO techniques to give your titles the best shot at ranking well on search engines. SEO, short for search engine optimization, is a vast field, and I'd recommend delving deeper into it with your own research and watching your own informative videos. For now, though, let's go ahead and focus on the most common and essential aspects of SEO, which is keyword research. Keyword research involves identifying the specific words and phrases that people use when they're searching online for an answer, and then purposefully putting those into your blog posts. It's like uncovering the secret language of the internet. To get started, you guys can make use of those handy tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush, which allow you to search for particular keywords or combinations of keywords and assess their ranking difficulty among other valuable insights. Imagine, for instance, that I'm planning to whip up a blog post about the best hiking boots for winter climates. In this case, my initial move would be to plug in a few of the relevant keywords related to that topic, such as winter hiking, winter boots, or hiking in cold weather, or just hiking in general. After analyzing the results, I'd integrate these high-ranking keywords into my titles, and this strategy increases the likelihood that my blog post will pop up when someone enters the related query in their search engine. It's like giving your blog post a GPS coordinate to be found in the vast landscape of the internet. After you've planned out your niche and your topics, you'll want to identify products or services that resonate with your interests, expertise, or target audience. So once you've decided on the niche that aligns with your passion, sign up to become an affiliate marketer for the products or services that are relevant to that niche. This usually involves joining affiliate programs offered by companies or platforms. Now, popular affiliate networks like Amazon Associates or ClickBank or Share a Sale provide access to a wide array of products and services to promote. It isn't hard to find affiliate programs for most websites. You can usually find them in the footer of the website, and if you can't find it there, you can always search for the company name in the Google search bar with the affiliate program behind it, and you'll usually find what you're looking for. I'm not going to go over how to sign up for an affiliate program because every single company in the world has a different process for signing up for their affiliate program. But once you guys start the process, it's really easy to just follow their steps. After joining these programs, you'll receive unique affiliate links that track the traffic and sales generated through your efforts. The key to success in affiliate marketing lies in creating valuable and engaging content that incorporates these affiliate links organically. This content could be in the form of a blog post, or a product review, or a product comparison, or social media posts. Remember to be transparent with your audience about your affiliate relationships, as trust is crucial in this field. As your audience grows and you refine your strategies, you can potentially earn commissions for every sale or action generated through your affiliate links. Patience, consistency, and a genuine commitment to providing value to your audience are the cornerstone of building a successful affiliate marketing career. All right, now that we've planned everything out and we understand our strategy for blogging, it's time to talk about how we're actually going to write our content. At this point, AI is so prevalent in today's society that it would pretty much be comical not to use it for your affiliate marketing website. Even Google finally admitted this year that AI written content is okay as long as it's useful information. Now, I've already shown you guys how to use the WordPress AI assistant inside of Hostinger to write short blog posts, but I also wanted to show you guys that ChatGPT can write longer blog posts for you guys if you want a little bit more source material. Now, this is going to be a great starting point, and from here, we can make changes to the given text and make sure that it's written accurately and it's helpful.
So here's an example of how you guys can get longer blog post content from ChatGPT. So let's try something like this. Wow. Okay, I am seriously impressed with what ChatGPT can do. It definitely is far better than writing a post with AI. So when you guys come over here and you say add new with AI, GPT can still do it a little bit better, as you can see. Now, if I were to take all of the text here of this entire blog post and put it into a word counter really quickly, let's see how long it actually is, because I asked for something that was at least 2,000 words. I kind of doubt that this is 2,000 words, but we can just double check. And let's see, so it's actually 1,155 words, which is way better than the 500 and something words that the WordPress AI assistant built inside of WordPress. It is just very convenient to have something to be able to quickly put out a blog post inside of WordPress though. So I will say it definitely has its bonuses or its benefits of using the, the AI post creator, but ChatGPT is still pretty good at making blog posts with AI. So now, once you guys have all of your content from ChatGPT, you guys can come back over into your WordPress dashboard, and all you got to do is go over here to add new, obviously, and we can literally paste everything in here. So let's go ahead and just Control or Command V and paste everything in. From here, what we'll do is we'll probably take the title, so Control or Command X, and we'll paste it in here as the title of the document, and then we can go ahead and just remove this H1 if we want to. So we'll just delete this. There we go. So we've got the title of the document. And so before we hit publish, what you can do is go through here and obviously first double check ChatGPT, because it's obviously not perfect. So you'll want to confirm all the information is true and accurate. Then after doing that, you guys can come in here and actually add some pictures into your blog post as well. So key features to consider, you might want to put a picture right under here because that's a new title. If you guys remember when we were on all of those other blog posts, so let me just go ahead and pull one up, for example. When you guys are looking at your blog posts, they'll usually just have random pictures of whatever they're talking about. It's probably not even the exact brand of hiking boots they're talking about. They probably just took this as a stock picture, but they just have pictures in the blog post because it gives your eyes breathing room, right? Here's a video, some more pictures of boots and stuff like that. And then they come to the next title, and then here's a picture of a boot getting tied on, right? And then they come to the next title. Well, they'd probably have another picture, but if I click on the back button, let me show you guys another one real quick. We'll choose this one. And again, as you guys see, every time it comes to a new title, they put a picture in here. So here's a new title, there's a picture, and then they start talking about different types of boots. Lots of pictures in the blog post. So you guys will want to add a bunch of stock photography into your blog post as well. Again, just these aren't even the same brand of boots, as you can see. Completely different brands, but they're just throwing in pictures as well. So you guys would want to do the same thing. Inside of here, all you would do is click on the plus button and you come over here and you'd add a picture. And so types of hiking GPS systems. So let's go ahead and here to media library, free images, and we could search for like a smartwatch. Cool. And let's see if we can find one that looks a little bit more outdoorsy. I think this one looks pretty good because she's actually outside. Oh, where'd it go? It refreshed on me a second time and took it away. Okay, this one looks kind of like a camping watch. Let's pick this one instead. I don't really care. All right, perfect. So now we've got this picture. We could kind of resize it to be more of like a title picture, just like that, and we're done. So now types of hiking systems. We've got a picture, and then they continue to read. Now, obviously, you guys are going to want to add pictures of specific products. So maybe instead of different types of products, this would be something like, you know, you've got the Garmin brand, and then you have Apple brand, and then like the Apple smartwatch, you've got the Garmin smartwatch, you've got, you know, different smartwatches that you guys can have here. And then let's just pretend, here, let me just do this. Let's do the Garmin smartwatch. I don't even know if I'm spelling it correctly or not. We're just going to pretend like I'm spelling it correctly. But anyways, if we have the Garmin watch, we would say that this is like a little description about the Garmin watch. We would go and pull a picture of it. Oh, it's Garmin, so Garmin. There we go. Okay, so it's spelled correctly. Garmin smartwatch. We can come over here and we could take a picture of one of their watches. Actually, to be honest, because this is an example, this one looks close enough, so I'm going to drag this one in here. All right, so we've got the Garmin smartwatch, and here's the picture of it. We've got a little description right here, and then we can come in here and let's just pretend we'll grab this one because it looks kind of similar. Obviously, what you would want to do is take the real information. I'm just kind of making my way through here, trying to figure this out the best way possible. You guys can take this information here, like lens material, and then you could take the bezel material, case material, all of that stuff, and you guys could put it into bullet points down below. So we could do something like this. We would do a list. And then you guys would literally copy over all of this information. Let's see what happens if I just try to copy it all over at the same time. I doubt it's going to format correctly, but let's give it a shot. Nope, it just completely disappeared. Okay, let's hit Control or Command Z. All right, nope, it just wants to disappear. So let's go ahead and add the list. So then what you guys would do is you would literally just copy over like lens material, Control C, Control V. So lens material, and you would say it is Power Sapphire. And then you do the next one, and you would say bezel material, titanium, and you do another one, blah, 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 another one, another one. And you guys get the idea. So this would be like the key features. And so what you would do is you could also enter in a title right here, and you could say something like key features. Okay, so now you've got your key features, and then you would actually list them all down below. And just to give you guys like an example, I probably should have done this instead of actually going to Garmin's website. Let's just pick one just as an example. You guys would want it to look very similar to this. So all you would do is literally just copy out all of these, for example, Control C, and we'll paste them here. Nope, I didn't say to do that. Okay, you know what? We're just going to delete the whole thing. Okay, so now it wants to do it individually. We're going to delete all of these. There we go. Command V, and so now here we have all of the key features. And maybe instead of bolding it, we could actually make this like a heading text instead. So maybe instead we would go ahead and backspace this, and we would go and double check our heading list to make sure we understand that this needs to be an H3 or an H4. So we click on this. So this is H3, so then this would need to be H4. Like this, and we could say key features. Something like that. And then we have all of our key features. And then right below this, we could add our button. Okay, so it says buy on Amazon, and then from here we can go ahead and add the link by clicking on the link icon right here, and we could add the link. So let's just pretend that this link right here is my affiliate link. Not the link that I'm pulling from Amazon, but actually the affiliate link that I got by going all the way down here to the affiliate link. So click on become an affiliate, you create an account, you would go to that product, generate an affiliate link, and then you would paste it right here. So this is now your affiliate link. And so now whenever someone clicks on this button, hang on, let me go ahead and, there we go, click on the button, it'll take them straight to this link right here, as you guys can see. And so now when you guys are done, you would go ahead and click on publish to save your work. And now we can go ahead and view the post. Now this is a very loose example. Oh, hang on, I totally forgot to even put a featured image. So let's just add a random featured image, I guess. There we go. Okay, so you would open up the post, you've got your featured image, here's your title, and then you guys have your introduction, what you guys need, and then you would say, here are the 5 different watches that I recommend. The first one is the Garmin smartwatch. Here's a picture, little description, all of the key features, and you could say buy on Amazon. So this is very similar to that other one. If we go up here, how to choose hiking boots, or one of these had all of those links and it was really in line. Maybe it's this one. Nope. So maybe it is, I don't think it was the REI one. Oh, it was. Okay, perfect. So what we're building right now inside of our post, we would have this button right here. So number 2 would, instead of being the Garmin smartwatch, number 2 would be the Apple smartwatch, for example. Okay, it disappeared on me. There we go. So something like this. And then we would get a picture of the watch, the key features, and our affiliate link with a button. So you would see this whole thing like 5 times throughout our blog post, correct? And then once you guys have that, this is what it would look like on your website. And it's pretty similar to what we're doing over here, where they literally just show, here's a hiking boot, you can buy it here. Here's the day hiking boot, buy it here. And then here's like the backpacking boots, which would be this one. And you guys can purchase them here after I tell you guys all of the information about them, right? And so you guys get the idea. That's how you guys can create these blog posts. They click on the button and it takes them to wherever the affiliate link is taking them to.
Congratulations. You finally successfully built your very own affiliate marketing website, and you've gained the know-how to populate it with your own blog posts. I hope you guys found this video informative and hopefully inspiring. Remember that building a successful affiliate marketing website takes time, dedication, and continuous learning. So roll up your sleeves, put those newfound skills to work, and watch your affiliate journey unfold. Until next time, happy affiliate marketing.